West Springfield's American Legion hosted a tribute to the heroes of World War II. The free 90-minute program Sunday commemorated the history of the war through dance routines set to big band music and performed in authentic military and 1940s dress, featuring the Small Planet Dancers. And we spoke with the dance troupe's artistic director and choreographer, who told us more about the troupe.
We are a dance performance group, and we like to be educational. So we do other educational programs. We do the Civil War program, we do World War I, we do Victorian dances and things of that nature. It's a combination of entertainment and history all at the same time.
The performance also featured readings about the Tuskegee Airmen, the Navajo Code Talkers, and the 442nd Infantry.